all right with the miners, and they would attack it if they were dishonest or not a decent person here, right? And actually alter the entire blockchain to reverse transactions into anything you can imagine, isn't that right? Everything will be broken. The game is ended if that ever occurs, isn't it? By the way, he said this. However, I believe the Riddlers did inform us that Bitcoin's funds would be transferred to XRP. Bitcoin is surpassed by XRP. This will occur as a result of either flicking the switch, or the black swan event is Bitcoin, while the white swan event is XRP. Whoa, have you ever considered that? Yes, it appears that a wedge is rising. That's literally the target of this. Where else do you believe it will likely go to zero? At $20,000 per Bitcoin, but if it reaches that level, the structure is completely dead. Well, I'm considering at least a K. This is the real reason we own XRP. Despite everything being right in front of them, no one paid attention. I own XRP, but why? Because XRP is used by Ripple, which has been selected to lead the new global digital payment system. The Federal Reserve started searching for quicker payment methods in 2013. A federal payments task force was established 2 years later, along with an action plan. Among them was Ripple, a cryptocurrency-focused business. The Opportunities of Digitizing Payments report was released in 2014 by the World Bank and Better Than Cash Alliance, which is composed of the governments of 32 nations, the Clinton Global Initiative, and Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. A year later, one cryptocurrency startup was highlighted on the Better Than Cash Alliance's website. The Sustainable Development Goals for 2030 are the focus of the Better Than Cash Alliance and all other initiatives today. You can see the SDGs logo on Bill Gates' lapel, on the websites of the world's top corporations, and on the UN's official exchange. Which group are those? Yes, why is it all Ripple or XRP? Why don't you just ask the fencing company why it's not Bitcoin? To put the preparations on hold and give them some time, they brought the SEC to attack XRP. They truly SEC to attack XRP. They truly dislike Bitcoin, guys, or were accustomed to them and never hated on XRP. They all adore XRP, though. Here, it expresses it either directly or indirectly. I am about to blow up, folks. What's going on? All of it is XRP America. Whoa, what a fantastic video, guys. If it doesn't get you excited when I keep watching this again, it should. You should be happy that you discovered the Philosopher's Stone, the deliquid gold. Your patience will pay off handsomely, Mr. Poole. 927 timestamp. Your endurance. You will eventually become more than just what we refer to as rich or wealthy if you hold XRP, the precious metal, for years on end. It will bring wisdom, which is what this journey has been. I do think that bots are operating. It has a significant quantity of XRP. I don't believe that someone like Brian Garfield is in charge of setting the price. Let's pump XRP today, shall we? Let's get rid of it. They might. There are many XRP wallets out there that are likely owned by the same entities, but they are hidden under different wallets so that consumers are unaware of them. However, I do think it's a bot. For this reason, everything is controlled until the switch is flipped. This is exactly what it says. For instance, the creators of the firm Ripple, which was created, kept 20 billion XRP out of the 100 billion XRP produced by the XRP ledger code. Additionally, Ripple Labs by the XRP ledger code. Additionally, Ripple Labs was initially given the remaining 80 billion XRP. Guys, if they so desired, they could turn the switch tonight, but will they? Most likely not, although ideally it will happen sooner rather than later. David Schwartz will be leaving on September 29th. Is anyone thrilled? Yes, who's thrilled? This was the appropriate celebration on September 29th. 2 days from now, there will be a delta. Alright dude, I recall how inexpensive it was to hire more staff back then. I wish we had another opportunity to purchase extremely low XRP, but I doubt it will occur, folks. Alright, I believe the train has already departed the station. It is what it is. Which is which? However, when 327 comes out, the clock reads 3 mirrored 9 right 9. That's 927 times the current date. Therefore, I believe it might be time soon. This from Davis Schwartz doesn't bother Bitcoiners. Take a look at what he said about the Bitcoin security concept. This is quite terrifying. This was said by Davis Schwartz, a former NSA employee who worked for the NSA men and their systems, so he's knowledgeable of the ingenuity. Out of all the projects in human history, Bitcoin has the poorest security model. It depends on trustworthy users actually investing more money to maintain its security than any dishonest individual might conceivably be prepared to spend to launch an attack. Proof of work is what Bitcoin is all about now, right? The miners must continue to mine. The idea of mining makes me think of how bad it is for the environment, doesn't it? Getting back to the Bitcoin proof of work model, you must have the Bitcoin blockchain is powered by just the hardware and electricity. And then he says, wait, all of that is taking place. However, what would happen if a hacker took over 51% of the Bitcoin network? All right, so once more, we're making progress. Guys, we're literally on the verge of a complete shift. Really, man, it's both thrilling and frightening. It feels that way, doesn't it? Or am I the only one? Not really, when you consider the future. It's so close, really. For this reason, organizations are preparing CyberHornet files for ETFs that link the SMP file functionality with Ethereum, Solana, and XRP with Ethereum, Solana, and XRP. Whoa. Bitcoin is no longer the only option. It's all coins, and XRP is undoubtedly brought up. Before they flick the switch, they all want in mails. Let's discuss October now, shall we? And a lot of people are pessimistic, but once more, I feel that I might be mistaken, but my gut tells me that we will ascend in October. The ETF will hit its peak at that time, which will also be the peak of XRPAL, right? We shall rise again until we see the black swan. All right, so those are my current thoughts. Guys, October will start soon. Why? When we examine the monthly returns of Bitcoin, don't we? Because XRP is more volatile here, yet it's the same thing with XRP. October is the month of October each year. Green, 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 and outlier red, green, green, and outlier red, followed by green. All right, the monthly average was 22%. Let's say we pumped 22%. Since that's an S-ton, I'm not sure if we'll pump 22% for Bitcoin. Guys, even if we did pump a little, that would be a huge boost for XRP. However, why haven't we pumped yet? In a literal sense, this SEC filing for the CyberHornet S&P 500 XRP ETF provides investors with an evaluation of the risk associated with the XRP component of the ETF. Take a look at this. Quote-unquote whales are a select group of individuals who own a sizable amount of XRP. These holders may have the ability to manipulate the price of XRP, and their transactions may have an impact on it. The price of XRP is manipulated, as stated in plain English right there, guys. Who do they think is responsible for this manipulation? By these whales that possess a significant amount of XRP. However, I'm not sure if these whales are the cause. The world will go digital, Mr. Poole reminded everyone. You should put all of your money into XRP whether you like it or not, all right? Why? Since it will serve as the central component of the new furniture system. In addition, Davey Schwartz is issuing a serious warning to all Bitcoin maxis worldwide. Why? Because Bitcoin maxes worldwide. Why? Because Bitcoin might crash at any time, not too far in the future. So let's get started. Hi everyone, I hope you're all having a fantastic day. XRP is around $2.79. For the last few days we have only been wandering. I absolutely think there's going to be another move. Let's get ready for that day. Now that everyone has been talking about digital IDs lately, let's hear what Mr. Poole has to say about it. We are currently in the third phase of XRPing the XRP community, folks. This is now known as fascinating. Wait, Americans visiting Europe will have to go through new computerized inspections. Oh, to deal with digital biodata collecting and new automated checks. All right, the digital passport is the name of it. All right, everything will be digital. I informed you all. Well, I'm not sure how they'll put it into practice now. I believe that some nations and countries will simply accept it. All right, the way it is, but I believe that others will, and I believe that it will be through a crisis, but please enjoy today's film. Thank you. Now, Mr. Poole, this was back in 2022, a long time ago. Take a look at the picture he uploaded. How do you guys perceive this, correct? The American flag is it. But no, gentlemen, if you look more closely, you'll see that it's just code, using letters and digits in this case, all right? Indicating that America will soon go digital, not just with the entire nation, isn't that right? Everything must be modernized and updated, but the most important change is that the dollar will become digital. XRP will be introduced via the bridge that must be built. Ultimately, of this is happening right in front of our eyes, and as we mentioned years ago, it ultimately boils down to money, which, incidentally,